Hey everybody, BQ is back this episode after being on episode 19 to talk about playing Undertale but not Deltarune. Well, earlier this month they played Chapter 2 and we sat down to talk about it. I was originally going to bundle multiple chapters in an episode, but decided, you know what, there's enough here about Chapter 1. I wanted to get the whole episode treatment. You can support the show at groupofshrike.net to get access to exclusive bonus episodes, and check out the link in the description for the theme song for the Discord. And actually something you can do right now, if you don't already subscribe on YouTube, I've added a link in the description there. We're just a few short of 900 subscribers now. Thanks so much. All right, it's May 4th. I have a cold, so I'm not working today. So I'm doing a rare midday weekday recording of podcast. And I'm going to sound like shit because I have a cold. But I wanted to give the date because this is a follow-up. We're doing a follow-up to a previous episode here. So if you are a listener of this podcast, you might remember back on episode 19 on February 4th, we posted an interview with BQ about having played Undertale but not Deltarune. And at the end of that, we said, let's check in after every chapter as you actually do play Deltarune and get your thoughts on it. And so you've done that. You've played Chapter 1, right?
I finally did it. Yeah, and that was February. Oh God. Okay. Oh my God. I am so sorry.
Time is marching on.
Oh God. It really has been. This has been this year feels like it's gone by really quickly.
It's rushing along.
God. Yeah, it's like you know how 2025 was just like this endless time. And we just kept going, but like it also simultaneously felt like it was going by really fast. I'm not getting that with 2026. I feel like I've blinked and it's over. Um, anyway, ugh, God, Jesus, cut out these spaces and post. Is it post?
It is post,
Is
yes, but I'm not
okay,
cutting that because that's
okay.
funny that you asked if it's post.
God damn it.
It does.
Fine, whatever. I have so many thoughts, and now that I'm actually sitting here trying to like talk about them,
Yeah, tell me your first impression. Like, what was when you first started it and you got the survey you got the sort of the opening sequence. What was your first thought there?
okay, that actually fucked me up, for very funny reasons, because I'm someone who like struggles so immensely with character creation menus. Um, it just feels like there's like a level of like, I don't know, like some kind of like finality there. And I don't know if it is because I have like chronic commitment issues when it comes to like the self, or just trying to find something that is representative of me to play. Uh, just because usually when I'm playing it, there's a little bit of like a self-insert kind of thing going on with games, right? Like, I know some people will be like, hey, I built up a character that I'm playing, and the character is separate from me. Um, I don't really do that. I'm trying. I think it'd be cool if I did, but that's a work in progress.
Yeah,
But anyway,
but I mean, this game enforces that Brechtian distancing like right away.
mhm.
It breaks your
Yeah, and that
immersion
was
immediately.
yeah, and I think that's great and very funny. Um, Considering like all of my hang-ups with this. Like I literally sat there and I took note, because like I was sitting there like with my little notebook trying to be like, okay, so I'm gonna take notes throughout this, make sure that if there's anything like big that I need to remember down the line, I'll like have it in case I like lose that. And I proceeded to go through and be like, okay, here's the head that I got, and here's the body, and here are all the like color options and whatnot. Um, and then immediately the vessel's discarded. So, which was nice actually. I was like, okay, cool. It's great. Fine. Okay, this is Chris. Okay. All right. Got it. Cool. Um, oh my God.
And so, what was your first?
That,
So, what was your reaction? So, as you proceeded into that introduction scene, how did you react to that? As someone who has played Undertale, right?
mhm.
What were your initial thoughts in that first scene in Chris's house?
Oh my fucking God. Oh God. Oh no. Oh, it's bad. Things are bad. Like, shit. Okay, I earlier I was like writing out like paragraphs, just trying to like have some kind of baseline for my thoughts, but then more and more thoughts kept coming, and I've been like thinking about this nonstop since last night, in all honesty. Um, but like, okay. I went through and I'm like clicking on everything. Okay, and I'm like, all right, let's see. Um, what does this mean? What does this do? Let's see the funny little dialogue because I love little explanations, and I like that in Undertale, and I like that in most like clicking points too, because sometimes there's a secret. And the first thing that I found were the CDs under the bed. Okay, I
Yeah.
really want to point out too. The contrast between each side of the room,
Yep.
it feels really bad.
And I'm going to
Um,
have some ongoing, put a pin in that because I'm going to have some ongoing thoughts with you as you advance through the chapters for sure on that.
okay, because oh God. Oh my God. I'm like sitting there and I'm like, this feels like, there's like a fully fleshed out person, even though they're not actually living here at this time. And then there's Chris. And
Yeah.
yeah, that's icky. And I it hurt.
And
And
did you find, I mean, you just threw out this featureless vessel and then you see this.
yeah, that you know, something that really hurt, or not necessarily hurt, but you know, was the cause of some alarm, was the controllers. Um, because there's the one on Azrael's side that, it's like name brand, all right, and then you
Yeah.
have the off-brand version on the Chris side, and I'm like, okay, cool, great. Um, and then there's just everything that isn't, revolving around like identity of the room or necessarily like the differences between them, but just like the individual things on the Azrael side. The ska. I'm sorry, I'm not over the ska. I'm really obsessed with the ska. Should we talk about the ska now or should we do that later?
Hit me
Because
with the
I'm
Scott.
like,
So I mean that CD is under the bed right at the start of the game, right?
yep. And it
So
just
yeah.
really sets the tone. It's one of the things that sets the fucking tone of the game for me. Because it's like, first of all, we've got the identity divide. Then we have the religious ska, which from here on out goes into everything in the game. Because then you're walking through this little home, and you're like, okay, here's this delightful little thing. Okay, that's great. That's so cool. Haha, we're in the bathroom. Icy's cool boys body spray. Hey, that's mostly full. Sidebar, for my notes for that, I just said okay transfem and nothing else. Um, which, yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah, true. Um, but gonna go back into the Scott thing, but other sidebar is when you're in the hallway, and you're looking at like the crayons and shit. I did think it was really funny that, because I don't know if this happened for you, but I picked green as my favorite color, and there were no green crayons. And I was like,
Ah, that's
oh,
a funny thing. It's always no green.
okay, cool. I was like, what is this like a thing? Am I personally being attacked here? But okay, cool that it's not that. Maybe we can go all game theory and be like, ooh, it's not a primary color. What does that mean?
That's
How
a
does
fun.
this tie into?
There's some thinking. I mean, this is like so Sans and Papyrus from Undertale, right? They're sort of blue and
Mhm.
red, right? And then there's a third.
Yeah.
There's the potentially like missing character, right? There's Gaster,
Hmm.
who people theorize might be green, partially based on that line.
Hmm. Okay. All right. Interesting. Interesting. I can, you know, um, actually, man, I don't know. Okay. I have something that I'll examine later, regarding that. Okay. Great. Great. Um, the hymns. Is that how you say it? I don't know anything about
The
religion.
what?
You know my religion. The is like
Oh, the
hymns or
hymns.
whatever.
Yes, yes.
Okay, cool. Because I'm sitting here and I'm like my religious background is atypical. So sometimes I look at a word and I'm like, what the fuck? Can I say that out loud? Am I saying it correctly? Um, I I can't keep blaming public schools. God damn it. Um, anyway, um,
Yeah, this came up last time, and I'm like, you're talking to somebody who went to all public schools.
yeah, I don't know. I think that'll actually come into play later,
Yeah,
with the game itself, which I think is depressing.
yeah. Hit me.
But oh God, we're gonna get there because the hymns. worry me. Also because the first thing, well, one of the first things that you see in the room, of course, or find is the religious CDs that are under the bed. Okay, cool. But then when you're actually leaving the house, the thing that is closest to the door is the Book of Hymns. And that's
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, that feels kind of significant to me because you're like walking in and you're immediately hit with that. It's kind of like a reminder. Um, Also the thing with the garbage can smelling nice, that's funny. I love how that's relevant. That's great. That's so cool. I love divorce. um but anyway, like zipping through the little town in that like initial bit, it feels like a nice little intro for a second, and then there's the callback to Toriel like holding Frisk's hand
Yeah.
in that like intro sequence in Undertale. And I'm pretty sure that like during the last recording, I mentioned how much I liked that in particular and how that was something that kind of sold me actually for the game itself. Um, with this, it did not give me that feeling, um, like at all. Um, which it can I lore drop
Yeah, go ahead.
the relevant lore drop? Okay. So, as a chronic oversharer, um, those who may have followed me on other social media platforms probably have dealt with some level of me like talking about this. But for those unaware, I had like a really interesting kind of like childhood, of course, which is everybody and teens, like teenage experience. But my teens in particular were difficult because I was one of those like very mentally ill teenagers, right? Which also like, okay, and who isn't? Um, but there was a lot of like authority figures kind of being a little bit more overpowering than what they usually are, right? There was a lot of teachers who would step in and kind of start like babying me after a while, which was kind of weird. Like I was randomly like shoved in special ed classes at one point, which was especially devastating because, I was like one of those like AP honors kids, and then they're like, okay, you're actually going to be in the baby classroom where the bulk of your education is going to be surrounding washing your hands, which is like already not good, but there's a level of just feeling like very othered. And on top of that, you're also suffering, but it's also really embarrassing to have a like paraprofessional with you at any given time, which is just someone who's basically assigned to follow you to make sure that you're like doing your work and stuff. And for me, it felt so bad because the only other people who had paras were like kids who were like very profoundly high needs. So me walking around and not being in that category, but immediately being perceived by like other students as like, oh, what the hell is wrong with BQ? And then getting like it was bad, okay? And seeing like Toriel and Chris like that was just like this immediate like, oh fuck. I
Mm-hmm.
think something is going on here and I really don't like it.
All right, so you get the ride to school. At this point, like, what do you think this game is? I mean, you've gotten this far. Like, what the hell do you think is going on here?
I know that it's like context. I just know it's a setup. That's a thing. Um, and I'm not entirely sure of what the next thing is going to be because, I have like tangential understanding of things that happen in Deltarune, but it's all kind of like without true context. So I'll be like, okay, cool. Chris is like blue now. Awesome. Um, but I don't really know like, oh, hey, why is Chris blue now? Um, and which takes us into learning why Chris is in fact blue now. Because going in, getting through the classroom bit, seeing everybody, that was partially nice, except for Birdly, who I hate. Birdly should die. Birdly is bad. I don't like Birdly. Um, I literally wrote a note that was just Birdly should die. And then immediately after that, I wrote another note that was Susie, despite threatening to maim and kill Chris, should live. And I stand by that. I
Well,
think
I
that's
mean, you got born. I mean, I feel like you got vindicated by the rest of the chapter for sure.
Well, I mean, even if that didn't happen, I still would hold that belief
Yeah, that's fair.
because Susie's awesome. Um, but Susie's like poverty coded. Does that make sense? Does
Yeah, oh, I
that
mean,
does
absolutely. I mean, I think you've kind of nailed that immediately for sure. Again, not to lean too forward and not to talk about future chapters yet, but like put a pin in that as well for sure.
okay? Because the loner like Chris who's already being like held at this weird like standard, I guess. This kind of isolationist bullshit within that classroom already and with their mom. Um, Pairing that with Susie, who has like that same kind of like othered role, that kills me. Like from the get-go, I'm like, oh, people don't fucking like Susie, but they also don't like Chris, but they don't take Chris seriously. And I think that's a little bit of the difference here. Um, is that Susie is like a threat, but Chris is like mostly just weird.
Hmm.
Um, and that's interesting. And I don't know, that feels like I want to dig more into that later just because like I don't know what the fuck happens in the rest of the game. But um, and then they go into a literal closet, a, it, closet dimension.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a
true.
closet.
Yeah.
That's that's great. That's so cool. Um,
Yeah,
okay, Toby.
my
I
first
I see.
reaction, my reaction to that like very opening sequence in the Dark World is this really creepy and weird right at the start.
Yeah, no. All of the like holes and things that are like leaking black ooze. Um, and the eyes. What was with the eyes? Like, what was
What do
the
you
thing that
think?
they said? I feel so stupid because I didn't write down the exact quote with those gross, dripping, crying eyes. But it feels bad. It feels kind of bad. Something's happening and I don't know what it is, but it feels bad. Um, not like negative, but like a, sense of foreboding doom, which is
Yeah.
cool. Um, and then we actually get into the game itself. I mean, we're in the game, but you know what I mean. Love the visuals. Fucking adore the visuals. The Japanese like maple thing that's going on with all the trees. Peak.
Yeah.
So peak.
Yeah.
Um, Rousey, what's the standard? Like
I say Ralsei. I think that's the standard. I would say.
Rousey? Okay, Rousey. I'm gonna like write that down like 40 times. Like Rousey. Hey, we're getting into it.
I
It's
would have
yeah.
to actually go watch the live streams that they did on Fangamer, I guess, to establish what the intended pronunciation is. I think it's Ralsei.
I'm gonna go with it this time. And then if that's not true in the next recording, you'll know.
Yeah.
You'll know. Um, but it's funny because generally speaking, I like really mean characters. Um, I love it when someone is kind of brutal and like off-putting, um, and obnoxious in a certain way. And also, I just prefer characters who are women because, yeah. So like Ralsei being like this cute little, this wonderful fuzzball who's like helpful and genuine and doesn't want to fuck people up. Um, Normally I might not necessarily be like a fan. Like I could tolerate and appreciate what's there, but not like celebrate within it. But I love that thing. Oh my God, he's so good. And I don't know. I don't know. I think it might just be like me going into like Chris mode and desperately needing some kind of kindness and like authentic friendship, um immediate unconditional care. It's good though. It's good. Um Love the hat too. Love the scarf. Um Lancer, fuck. Where do I even begin with that? Okay, firstly, what is like the age range there? What do you believe?
Lancer,
Like how old is that?
my take on Lancer is he's like 8 to 10, I think.
Okay, because that's what I was thinking too. And it's very good because like with the actual like main party themselves, I guess. Um, I wasn't super sure where they like fell in an age range, but for me, I was thinking like either like juniors or seniors in high school. Does that check out?
I think that tracks with what other people have said because they are starting to talk about college coming up. So I think they're at the they're at least in the back half of being in high school. I think they're juniors or seniors. Yeah,
Yeah, because like Temmie was studying for college, right? Like in the library later, and I
yeah.
was like, okay, okay. And like Toriel like mentioning like, hey, school, that's a thing. University, you're gonna go there. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Um, yeah, it's a vibe. And are we like in fall? Do you feel fall? I'm
Seems like
feeling
it. I
fall.
mean, I would the
Okay.
trees are colors have changed. And I
Yeah.
again, I mean, I don't want to bring in information from future chapters yet, but that seems like a good reaction to what you've seen so far.
Okay, because it's like I was thinking like that and like the Sadie Hawkman's dance.
Yeah,
I was like, okay, because I'm like that's like a wintry thing. So,
yeah.
um, ooh, cool. We're at the beginning of the school year. Wow, there's so much ripe like possibility for us. Everything's cool, and you never know what's gonna happen. Um, but yeah. Anyway, having this like youth in the midst of all of this, at first I was like, okay, what is this child's deal here? Like, I'm like, okay, is this gonna go well? Because I'm in my head, I'm like, okay, this is probably gonna be someone who becomes beloved to me, but I need to be cautious because after the tutorial handhold thing, I'm kind of like, I don't know, man. IDK. But what like sold it for me um was his interactions with Susie. That was that was so sweet, Kate.
It's so great.
That
It's
was
so
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 good.
great. It's so so
It's
great.
so good. Like him just being completely sincere, like, oh my God, thank you for the critical feedback on being evil. And she's just like, wait, what the fuck? What? What do you mean, thank you? And then like kind of imprinting on him and actually caring for him. Like, what do you mean you let him wander off alone? Um, God, that shit rules. That shit rules. I don't even know. Oh my God, I'm sorry. I'm emotional. It's been a long day. I think the caffeine has left my system for the most part, and I don't think it's going to be a good idea to have another energy drink because I've been doing a lot of that lately. It's not great. Not great. But I'm sorry for like endlessly rambling. If you just want to like completely restart and be like, here,
Nope.
question, you get like a minute to
Nope.
answer.
I wanted to hear your real reactions to playing this game. Um and so you're progressing through the Dark World. You met Lancer, you love Lancer. That's a great reaction. Lancer's incredible. Um any other characters that stood out to you?
Hmm. I mean, I really like all of the enemy designs. I think those are great. Like, just I want to give a shout out to those because everything is just very funny to me. Um, Sham is very
Sham is amazing, yeah.
Sham is great. I was like sitting there and I'm like, this is a great joke for the name. I just I chuckled. I chuckled. Um, yeah, Sham's great. Um, Lancer's peak. I will die for Lancer. That's like a son to me now. No, I can't say that. I don't want to take Lancer's family. Like Lancer can decide his own family. It's fine. Um, which he does with his cool second dad. Rules, who is just so, oh my God. Oh my God. Remember when I like drew rules like ages ago
Yeah.
for Valerie?
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Rules Big Naturals?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. I should do that again.
Yeah.
I really should do that again,
I
especially after this.
can't wait for you to catch up on the game and be able to listen to the back episodes of this show because the most popular episode by a mile is our one on rules card.
Awesome, because Rules card is great and just so, but like, God damn it, just like killed me. Oh my God. And then like the fucking puzzle where he just immediately is like, congratulations, this was a test bite. Um, that was great. That was wonderful. I love when someone is kind of awful at everything that they do. It's very relatable to me as someone who also is awful at everything that I do. Um, and see, now I'm like sitting here and I'm like, okay, which characters do I like? And it's hard because I like all of them. They're all good. Um, I'm I'm attached, which is a problem. because eventually I don't know if that will serve my emotional state well. And God, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. And then I took like 4,000 notes about identity and religion, but that's
Yeah,
neither
yeah.
here
We'll get to
nor
well,
there.
I'll get to that at the very end. But tell me about. But let's make sure we cover the others. Let's talk about King for a little bit.
King sucks.
Yeah,
Fuck King. Dads suck.
I feel
I
like
like the anti-dad agenda.
after you've played Undertale, I feel like you're like really prepared for King to be redeemable. Um, I think you're like really expecting a different thing to happen, but then you get King, and it's a big surprise.
Yeah, part of me was admittedly kind of on edge from the beginning because I am very pro anti-dad sentiment just in general. Um, like Asgore's great. Okay. I love that guy. He's like still pretty cringe. Okay.
Yeah,
Other fictional dads and also dads in general, conceptually they're an interesting topic. I'm like, I don't know if these guys are like legit. Are there real dads out there? Are there dads who are cool? Um, Vote in the comments now if dads are cool because I are no. So even with the sense of like, okay, cool, we've been like redeeming everybody, we've been acting, we've been like, letting people do their thing. Um, there was just like a different vibe, and I didn't like the way that he treated Lancer,
yeah,
because that was kind of like, that felt like a sign to me. Like I'm like, you are willing to do horrible things to your son. Um, and yeah, I feel like this isn't gonna go well for us either. And
absolutely.
Alice is right.
And I feel like you get that contrast too because you meet Asgore when you're walking around in town afterwards.
Hmm.
And so,
Yeah, and that was
yeah, tell me a little bit about your hometown experience.
oh, what a throwback. I try to talk to everyone, and I did talk to everyone. And shout out to Sans. That's my man.
Shout out to
Love him.
Sans. We love Sans here. This is a pro Sans show.
Fucking yeah, Sans is great. Sans forever and always. I'm currently single, so if he wants my number, I'll kind of like push it through the screen. Um, it's I feel like he might be able to fix me a little bit. Like it isn't even an I could make him worse situation. I think that he could like, override that, which like, yeah, impressive, impressive. Um, but the character that is presumably Mettaton makes me want to kill myself. That's great. That's awesome. That's wonderful. Um, Alphys is, as always, a pervert. And I love her for that. I think she's great. My Gunnar princess. Is that I don't know if that's good
She
sentiment,
sucks.
but
Alpha
like
sucks, so I'm leaving. You're allowed to slander Alphas as much as you want on this program.
okay, because I'm like the anime review in the fucking teen section of the library.
Just awful.
That
Just awful.
is like being in an alley and like what are you doing? Like what the hell is you what the fuck are you doing? And then like randomly talking to your student about their hot dad and mom. Um, what are you? Who are you? Why are you allowed outside? What are you? What the fuck? And I think it's also appropriate that her, girlfriend in another universe is a fucking cop. They suck. I hate them.
It's
Unsigned
awesome.
and
It's
Alex,
awesome.
they need to be together because they're both awful. At least they both make me laugh for different reasons. But what the fuck? But I can't even be like, oh no, that wouldn't be canon because like of course it makes sense. I'm like that's former royal guard and not in a cool way. That's
Yeah, her
like
job was cop. Her job was killing kids.
yeah, no, like so many people in Undertale just were tasked with like killing children. What's up with that? Like
I mean, that was the foundation of their society. That was their only hope for a better future before Frisk comes along.
true, true. Damn, that's a sad ass game. What the fuck? Pouring one
It's
out
true.
for a bunch of dead kids. God damn. Fucky as hell. Rudy's cool. Rudy makes me pro dad. Um,
I love Rudy. We love Rudy here.
I'm Rudy makes me feel a lot. Um, I'm partially like, man, I wish I had a dad. And I'm also like, oh my God, are you terminal? I feel like you're probably terminal. I don't like that. That's not great. Um, love the college stories. That's great. Party Toriel is awesome.
Yeah,
Um, I'm like, wow, you really were throwing things and being crazy. Having your beautiful youth moment of spontaneity and occasional violence. Um, Interesting, much to consider for the future. Um, I like how Noelle is just standing there in front of a giant gate with no key and not wanting to disturb her mother to get the key. That's cool.
that's very interesting,
Um,
isn't it?
that's very fun. That feels like it's relevant. Um, like the faceless angel in the hospital room, by the way. Love the mention of Des, who uh, I okay, that's I'm yep, I've seen that name around. I don't know. I'm like, okay, cool, cool. Um, that's great. Learning about also like Chris's youth shenanigans is I don't know, I feel simultaneously like delighted and a little bit sad.
What do you think of the way that
Uh,
people like react to you talking to them in hometown?
You know, I think it's funny how when Sans like talks to you, um, it's kind of like immediately friendly and casual. But there's no like vibe surrounding it, you know, like these are people who are just meeting each other, right?
Yeah,
Um, but with everybody else, it feels oh, it's been so long, or hey, what's up? How have you been? Like there's distance there. Um, and I forget. I remember if it was like, well, I don't remember whether or not it was Noelle who said this, but like, are you all right? You're
yeah,
talking a lot. Like
yeah.
that felt like how what has this kid been doing? Like what's going on? And then also everybody who like I mean there was a vast majority of people that Chris was like talking to and they kept mentioning their brother um over and over again. Um which how do we know how many years Azrael's been like out for college stuff? Like
Not as of chapter one. Again, I don't want to say what we do or don't know in the future, but
okay, because I was like kind of getting the vibe from like later dialogue too, like regarding like the eggs at his like baby party, that there's like a little bit of an age gap between him and Chris, but
yeah, I mean,
not
we
like
know that he's at college at least. That's it. I think,
yeah,
really.
like there's yeah, that's I just wonder too like when they like got Chris, like for lack of I'm like okay, so you're very clearly adopted.
Put a pin in that one
You're
as well.
also okay. Well, damn. Okay. Well, I didn't know that Toriel like cheated. That's crazy. I didn't know that. I didn't know that that could happen. I mean, good to know. I'll be on the lookout. Um. Maybe that. Yeah.
I do. I think let's close out then with your feelings. So with your thoughts on religion in hometown, because I really am interested in hearing your after your post chapter one responses to that.
Okay. Um. There is. It's everywhere. And I think that it needs to be like recognized as something that is just like latent within this game and in the text and the symbolism and everything. Um, so like, you know, of course, from the get-go, it's there. It is in the house. It is unavoidable. Okay. You come in, it's there. You get into your place where you should be able to sleep and be like, peace, it's still there. You walk around town, it's there. It is overwhelmingly there. Church is mentioned so many times. Caddy's like, oh, hey, by the way, I was like involved with your brother in some way. And remember how your mom flipped her shit and then you know, you were at church constantly for like a week straight. Um, there I'm just looking at my notes and feeling gross. The Sadie Hawkins dance, the purity culture there.
Yeah.
Which also I think is funny because of the like whole like, oh, these adults are going to be dressed as hawks and they're going to swoop in if you get too close to each other. And then, in the dark world, there is that like giant like hawk kind of like enemy that like comes down when you and your party are walking over and
The Starwalker bird.
yeah, yeah, that thing. And I'm like, oh my God, is the party too close together? Wow, that feels weird. Um, but like also the context of like a Sadie Hawkins dance, like traditionally being like, oh hey, the girl is asking the guy out. Um, there's like a weird like oh it's okay, like we're actually like progressive Christians. Um, because it's very Christian. It is so Protestant.
Yeah, that's interesting because it's like I feel like I understand your reaction to that, but like it's interesting because it's like a New England small town, and so it's like they're like liberal Christians, I guess.
Yeah,
Except
yeah.
for Toriel. It does seem like Toriel is an exception to this.
Oh my God, she so isn't. And it's really funny, like when you think about like past party girl Toriel too, because like okay, well I'm washing out that area, that part of my life, and I'm like pure now. Um, and that just keeps coming up with how she wants her family to be too, like which I feel. How did the fuck does the divorce play into this? I want to know how that affects her psychology because
Mm-hmm.
that hmm. Interesting. Interesting. Um, anyway, I figured that it's probably stents, just because of the like the juice thing, um, which I like brought up in like messages with you, which also made me feel crazy, because of the lack of like any mention of alcohol directly. Um, because I'm like, okay, so they're not Catholic, which may or may not be good for Chris. I don't know. Maybe that structure could have been good. It probably wouldn't have been. Um, but like that and the like contemporary Christian music in the form of ska, okay, cool, we're going there. Um, the the faceless angel scares me. And then in the dark world itself, like Santa Claus like comes up like twice. And when it comes up with like Lancer, he has no idea who Santa Claus is. He's like, okay, what like is that a good thing being baby Santa Claus? Um, which if the dark world is like free from Christianity, and all these religious overtones in hometown, what does that mean? What does that mean? Why are all the characters like brighter in this kind of like weird little like pocket dimension? Yeah, why do they look happier and they're discovering more things about themselves, or at least Susie is, um, because Chris is silent, and which I also have thoughts about, but I know we're running out of time, and I'm so sorry, but
No, it's all right. I'm just like, let's hold these thoughts and think about them because, obviously you're going to know much more as you progress through. I think what we're
yeah,
going to
because
do is we're going to do chapters 1 and 2 as their own episode, just based on the length of what we've had to talk about. So we're going to do chapters 1 and 2 as an episode, and then chapters 3 and 4 as another episode.
okay, I'm sorry. We can cut most of the beginning if
No,
that makes
stop
it
it.
easier. I don't
Stop
know,
trying to cut
maybe
things.
no. Now I'm like embarrassed, and I'm
Stop
like,
trying
oh
to cut
shit,
things. I
wait.
appreciate it. I'm just saying we're going to get 2 episodes of material out of this. That's fine by me.
Okay, 'cause there's a lot of beef. There's a lot of beefy stuff in there. It's a Jebel shit
Yeah,
towards
let's
the
let's close
end.
out with Jevil. Let's finish with Jevil.
Fuck. Fuck. Okay, I can't. I'm very bad. I am still actively trying to destroy Jebel in combat. That happened this morning. It's gonna happen after this episode. Well, this portion of the episode is finished recording. I still took note of the text that I saw because in the like 4 times that I have died miserably, there's the same battle dialogue over and over again. Um, and it feels very like it ties into the religion thing. I'm sorry that I keep coming back to the religion thing. But like I can't look away. I can't look away from that chick hate. It's I don't. Okay. Okay. Can I game theory?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. The juice. Okay.
The juice.
The juice. Okay. Cool. Communion. Awesome. Great. Okay, now let's go back to Jebel. Okay, so the lines that like particularly hit me were this body cannot be killed. My hearts go out to all you sinners. Okay. First bit, because it's like, okay, Jesus core. All right, cool. Um, Good for you, man. Good for you. But then we've got let's make the devil's knife, and even devil's knife is smiling. Okay, great. Um, Ending animation. Creepy Chris. Chris pulling out this knife that, by the way, we haven't seen this in the inventory, like, at all as the
Yep.
players, right? Like, that thing just kind of comes out. Which, hey, making the devil's knife, interesting. And the fun little smile after ripping their heart out, or our heart, I don't know, because we are not Chris. I figured that bit out. Um, and I have
Congrats for
complex
getting that right
feelings.
away. It took a lot of players a very long time to figure that out.
It feels fairly obvious. Like I think the bit where like Susie is in prison and like hears someone commanding her and giving her advice, but it's not Chris. Like she's like uncertain whether or not it's Chris. Um, that did something for me. I was like, interesting. We're swapping perspective around too a little bit. Like, if we were just Chris, we would be locked in as Chris, right? Hmm, cool, weird. And also like in some of the like options, there's like very like clear, like, no, I don't want to do this. I'm like, okay, interesting. That why would we as players feel like, we wouldn't want to do something unless we already knew about a context behind something, which maybe Chris does. Okay, great.
Hmm.
Um, which hurts. I don't want to, take away someone's agency, right? Like
Yeah.
even if, like within a story, I think that's a very interesting kind of way to start something, just being like, okay, hey, by the way, there's a character, but this isn't a self-insert. This is their own person, but you also are taking that away from them, um, which doesn't feel good. That feels bad. Narratively, so interesting though. From a plot perspective, fucking great. Um, and that I think the themes of agency are gonna just keep coming up and fucking with me a little bit throughout this game.
Yeah.
Um, and I think can I add can we end on a sad note?
Sure.
Okay, because the last thing in religion game theory or whatever is thinking about what Toriel says to Chris, right? About the little horns, right? Which directly is, remember when you were little? You asked when your horns were gonna grow in? And they get like a little headband with little red horns on it. Okay, cool. Um, and I think that there's of course the attempt to include Chris and soothe Chris. That's it's nice,
Hmm.
but it feels harmful long term because this is someone who is a little bit confused because they're a very small child, because everyone else in the family has a key feature, right? And it's very obvious and it's physical. And why don't I look like you, even though we're in the same family? Okay. And I don't know how open the Dreamers were with like the concept of adoption. Um, but generally speaking, it helps to acknowledge that early on with the child, right? Like that's you want to be like, okay, hey, we are different, but it's okay. And we love you, and you're still part of this family, no matter who you are, and it's okay. Like, your origin might not necessarily be with us, but you are part of the family because you are you. Um, but instead, Chris's parents are like, oh no, it's cool. Here's a headband with horns on it. Um, you're one of us. Cool. And it's not even like a full costume. It's like the accessory. It is just the headband.
Yeah.
So Chris might be like, "Oh, cool! I have my little horns. I can wear these until my real ones grow in," but never really gets the conversation of you're not getting horns because you're not a monster. Um, and then they eventually like lose them or abandon them or hide them somewhere
Hmm.
because they're growing up. And, like they're still a little kid though, because a few months in little kid time is like nothing burger.
Yeah.
And depending on how old Chris was, like that could be super nothing burger. Um, but you know, it's also a hyper religious environment that they're being brought up in, and they're given devil horns. So like, hey, here's this thing that helps kind of like mask or like give you like a sense of you're one of us, but it just kind of points out the fact that you're a human even more and that you're different. Also, it's devil horns, so maybe being different is bad in a way that is morally bad, and I don't like that. I think that might have been a parenting fail. Um, just a little bit. It's a lot. It's not good. That was really messy. They should have done better. That sucked. That sucked so bad. Oh my God. Um, yeah. I don't know. Hurts. I think it's just gonna keep hurting though.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate the update, and I am like I really this it's been awesome to hear your thoughts from somebody in progress, and I'll check in with you again after chapter 2.
Okay. God. I don't know. I'm gonna play it immediately after this, but still. Fuck.
See you on the flip side of chapter 2. Wait, actually, quick question. What's your prediction for what's next?
Um, okay. I think it's safe to assume that we're gonna go back to some degree. Um, Maybe flesh out some more guys because I know Birdly exists. That's a problem. I've seen Birdly around and I'm pissed about that. But like I'm like, okay, if Birdly gets redeemed, I'm gonna have some level of feeling about it. Will that be good? I don't really want to answer that at this time, because I don't want to incriminate myself in any way. Um, but I I can't say what's going to happen next with any confidence. Um, and I'm just afraid. I'm excited to keep playing, but I'm also very afraid. And also, if I have to deal with something like Jebel again, I'm gonna be like, wow, I can't do bullet hell. And great, that's very reassuring as someone who only has really played The Binding of Isaac before this. I feel humbled,
Mhm.
very humbled. Yeah, fuck my life.
All right. Chapter 1 in the books.
Group Ashrike Amalgamated General Productions GmbH